60 Minutes correspondent Lesley Stahl's award-winning career spans more than 40 years right here at CBS News, from serving as White House correspondent to moderating Face the Nation. Lesley Stahl has investigated and reported some of the biggest stories in America and around the world. Here's a look at a few of those memorable moments.
Oh, Walter, I am just being told by a high lieutenant that the choice is Bush.
Lesley Stahl, that's the most amazing piece of news we've heard since we heard it was Ford.
On abortion, Mr. Bush's job was easy today. The ball is now in the hands of the court.
You seem to be saying that President Bush was willing to polarize the country on the racial issue for political gain. Immoral, corrupt. You say they're running a criminal enterprise. I mean, you're one of the reasons we have to restore civility in the first place. You will see Gitmo, as it's called, like you've never seen it before. It's haunting and a little chilling knowing you're in the belly of ground zero, in the place where so many innocent people lost their lives.
Very busy. Very busy.
Sir, I know you're angry.
I'm not angry. I'm in a hurry.
This tunnel is 3,850 years old.
And this was the way it was.
This is exactly original.
Guess what my favorite TV show is?
I can't.
Duh. All right, put 60 Minutes there.
Go, Lesley Stahl. She's added grandmother now to her list of achievements. She has two granddaughters, 5-year-old Jordan and 2-year-old Chloe. She writes about her latest role in her new book. It's called Becoming Grandma, The Joys and Science of the New Grandparenting. Lesley Stahl, you look at that work, but you go, your most important thing is being, welcome, Lolly. This is what I think is so great, that you said, many of your friends said, why are you writing that book? It's just showing that you're old. LOL doesn't stand for laugh out loud, it stands for little old ladies. Why do that? And you said...
The truth is, honestly, and I have found this myself by living it, that you don't become older when you're a grandparent, you become younger.
Yeah.
They make you younger.
Yeah.
And it's so exhilarating, unexpected, for me anyway.
You said
I
it's
think for
never
all
too
women.
late to have the best day of your life, that your heart was like on a trampoline. I
Oh,
love
my God.
that picture.
So what makes it so great?
Everything.
Yeah.
There's not a downside. The first thing was the emotion of holding that baby for the first time. It was so explosive and unexpectedly so, and total body.
Yeah.
And when someone suggested I write the book, the first thing I did was try and find out what that was. So there's a whole business on the biochemistry of it all. And there's a reason we do that. I had an epiphany. We never hug when we're adults. We never hug, except in sex, but that's different. But we air kiss. We give that little man hug. But the sort of center of us is never touched until we have these grandchildren. And then we hold them. I guess if you're a mother, the same thing. But as a grandparent, you hold them and you hold on tight, and it just, you go into another planet, you're off in space with that feeling all over you.
You said you surprised even yourself, Lesley.
Total. Yeah. Well, not just in that. We as grandparents, and this is universal, we are so different than we are as mothers. Yeah. You're both mothers. You're not a father. No, but you're both mothers. I mean, you just are trying to raise little wonderful citizens.
You make a really interesting point, too. You say more than half of grandparents in the U.S. were members of the baby boom generation. So how are baby boomers becoming different kinds of grandparents?
Well, a lot of us worked.
Yeah.
So we just didn't have the time, as I was just about to say. You're working and you're trying to raise good citizens and teach them manners. We, as grandparents, are just there to love them. That's it.
It reminds me a little bit of men who tell me they have children later in life. It's very different than when they had children early in life.
Right,
They
exactly.
appreciate it more. They're more confident. All these things make the one-on-one with the young baby different.
And as a grandparent, as opposed to the older man who actually is the father, you really don't have that responsibility. So you can just be there in time and devote yourself in a loving way.
You know what I thought was interesting? Your point about the other grandparents, that there can actually be competition between grandparents. And I thought one of the most poignant things was when you talked to the other grandparents in your daughter's life.
Right. She was so
That was very
beautifully
touching.
candid with me. Well, that she is the mother of the father.
Right.
And I said, is it more difficult? There was this long pause, and she said, it is.
Yeah.
It's more difficult. and that
you get to
is
spend
true
more
a lot,
time.
but not always true. Believe me, not always true.
I was going to say, the CEO of PepsiCo, Indra Nooyi, says that our biological clocks and our career clocks are in direct competition with one another. And they were for you, because your own daughter was very young while you were covering the White House. And you write very candidly in this book about how many events of her life that you missed.
Well, you must have related to that.
I did.
And you must have related to that. Yeah, and so as a grandmother, you are in a way trying to make up for it. You're getting a second chance, and that's like men who weren't there when their babies, their own children were growing up, and then the grandchild comes, and they say, "I'm going to watch that. I'm going to be in this person's life." But the most surprising thing, and shocking, was how many grandparents are not allowed to see their own grandchildren.
That's terrible.
The parents say, you know, I'm not going to subject my child to that woman or that man.
Friction within the families.
But you also say it's chapter 4 in the evolution of a life.
Oh, it is definitely chapter 4. And it's a whole new chapter now that we're living so much longer and living so much longer healthily. It's kind of the big phase that's undefined.
But it's chapter 4 in your life. Have you slowed down at all?
Have you? No, I know. Hello, who's asking. Yeah, pot meet Mr. Kettle. Yeah. Exactly. But Lesley, you know what, when you talk about the shocking thing of the grandparents don't get to see each other, these grandparents will do anything to please their son and daughter-in-laws to be able to see the grandchild. You tell a story about a woman that said, "I will wear a hazmat suit if that's what my daughter-in-law wants me to do." I know,
and it was funny, but there's so much truth behind it. We're all, even if it's our daughter, we're all walking on eggshells because we want those children, and we're just being so careful not to antagonize them just because they're holding a card. They have some power they didn't have before over us.
I love that you, I think it's the last chapter of the book, you issue sort of a call to arms to grandparents. What is that call?
Get more involved. Even if you're involved now, get more involved. Our children are both working, mother and father. They are just frazzled beyond belief.
Exactly.
They are not making as much money as we did. And they need us. They need us. And more importantly, those children need us. They need their grandparents. We make them healthier. We just do. And so my call is to find a way. If you don't live near them, find a way to be more involved.
You know, I read this book with such longing. I don't have grandchildren yet, but it is my deepest desire that I will live long enough to see them, seriously, and that they will know me. And I said to favorite daughter Kirby, when you have a baby, can I be in the delivery room? She goes, well, we'll see.
See, I wanted that.
I wasn't very encouraged by that response. We'll see.
I wanted that, and I wasn't.
Yeah, I know, you're right about that.
And I understand. And I wanted a grandchild almost viscerally. I yearned for it the way a young woman yearns for a baby. I yearned to be a grandmother.
And now you are a Lolly times 2.
I'm a Lolly times 2. I have them too. And they're great. It's breathtaking. Every part of it.
Well, it's a great book.
I hope it for you, and you become a surrogate, because surrogate grandparents are also helping children.
I have 4 godchildren.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Lesley, thank you so much. And
pleasure.
Congratulations on the book. It's terrific. Becoming Grandma goes on sale today.